Hello and welcome to the video. I'm so glad you're here. I went ahead and taste tested all the different vegan cocoa cereals I could find at my local Prisma supermarket, and in this video I will share my experiences with you. The first cereal we have here is the Cocoa Pillows. It's an oat and wheat cereal with a cocoa hazelnut cream filling, and it's by the store's own brand, Rainbow. And this box of 375 grams had, when I bought it, a price tag of 1.68 euros. So I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And these were super sweet, like dessert more than breakfast. And well, I think you can see that I quite enjoyed the taste. So these tasted wonderful, but they did not satisfy my hungry tummy. So by the time I had eaten that portion of 50 grams of this cereal and 2 deciliters of almond milk, I was still a little hungry. But if you're craving a cookie after lunch or dinner, these could totally be a good cookie substitute, or like a little dessert kind of thing, because they do taste really, really, really nice. Next, we've got the Oreo O's, which are cocoa-flavored crunchy wheat hoops with vanilla flavor rice discs. And these are by a name brand, so Oreo cereals. And this 350 gram box cost me €4.49. Once again, I had about 50 grams of the cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And these were way less sweet than the Cocoa Pillows. And they had a very strong, maybe even a bit of a bitter cocoa taste. They didn't excite my mouth as much as the Cocoa Pillows did, but they did satisfy my hungry tummy way better than the Cocoa Pillows. So I'm saying these are pretty good for breakfast. Next, we have Cocoa Pops Chocos by Kellogg's. These are crispy cocoa flavored wheat flakes, and they are by a name brand as well, so by Kellogg's. And this 330 gram box cost me €3.99. And again, I had about 50 grams of cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk. These ones had a sweetness that was somewhere between the Oreo O's and the Cocoa Pillows. And the cocoa taste in these ones was not as bitter as it was in the Oreo O's. I liked the taste of these more than the taste of the Oreo O's because of that, because of the less bitter cocoa taste. And these ones also satisfied my hungry tummy pretty well. So far, this has been the best breakfast out of these 3. Next, we've got Choco Shells, a cocoa wheat cereal by the store's own brand, and the brand name is Extra. This 250-gram box cost me €1.65. And once again, I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And they tasted about the same as the Kellogg's ones. I mean, it has been a day since I had those. But still, I think I'd remember if the taste was radically different. And these were a bit thicker than the Kellogg's ones. So these stayed all crispy and none of them had time to get to that perfect place between soggy and crispy as I ate. You know, that place where they soften a little but still remain a little crispy as well. Whereas the Kellogg's ones got to that place pretty quickly. So these did satisfy my hungry tummy, but and I did like the taste, but I did prefer, or do prefer, the Kellogg's ones, even though they are a bit more pricey, just because the Kellogg's ones are not too thick. So like they have time to get to that perfect place between crispy and soggy, where I prefer to have them when I eat them. So yeah. Next, we have Kellogg's Cocoa Pops, and these are a toasted cocoa rice cereal, obviously name brand Kellogg's, and this 330-gram box cost me €3.99. Again, I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And the rice cereal itself tastes very bland. I think we're all pretty familiar with it. But the addition of the cocoa in these makes it taste, well, kind of okay. Better, certainly, than just plain rice cereal. And the texture of these is very nice. I like it. And these also did satisfy my hungry tummy. So they were an okay breakfast. Next, we have the Kotimaista Kaakaomuro, which is a cocoa wheat cereal And this is by the store's own brand. So Kotimaista is the brand. And this 320-gram box cost me €2.89. Again, I had about 50 grams of the cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk, and I didn't check what these were made of when I bought them, and I totally thought that these would be like an off-brand version of the Kellogg's Coco Pops. But it turns out these are made of wheat and not rice. So yeah, these are different. And these are very, very, very bland. I do not recommend. This was a super bland experience. But my hungry tummy was satisfied. So that's a positive right there. But yeah, so bland that I absolutely cannot recommend. Next, we have the Nesquik by Nestle. These are crispy cocoa cereal puffs made of wheat and corn. And obviously, they are name brand Nestle. And this 375-gram box cost me €3.95. With these two, I had about 50 grams of cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk, and these were nice. The sweetness and the cocoa taste and the crispiness were all to my liking, and these also satisfied my hungry tummy well too. So absolutely no complaints, and I think these were my favorite so far, like of the ones that I'd had up to this point. Next, we have the Cocoa Puffs. So these are cocoa cereals made with wheat, corn, and rice. And they are from the store's own brand, Rainbow. And this 300-gram box cost me €1.25. Again, I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And these were identical to the Nesquiks, but at like a fraction of their price. Like literally, my mouth couldn't tell the difference. They could have been from the same package. And bonus points for the super cute package that these have. And yeah, both my mouth and my hungry tummy were very well satisfied by these. Next, we have the Kellogg's Cocoa Pops Loops, which are cocoa-flavored wheat and corn cereals, and obviously name brand Kellogg's. And this 285-gram box cost me €3.99. Again, I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk, and I really don't have anything all that special to say about these. They tasted perfectly nice, and my hunger was perfectly well satisfied too, so these are a good breakfast. Next, we have Myllärin Suomalaiset Suklaarenkaat. So these are like wholemeal or whole grain rings. And they are by a Finnish name brand, so Myllärin. And this 300-gram box cost me €2.69. And once again, I had about 50 grams of these with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And I have to say, these were pretty bland, though not quite as bland as the Kotimaista Kaakaomuros earlier. But sadly, the Finnish ones are not doing so great in this comparison. Both of the ones that we've had so far have been seriously bland. My hungry tummy was satisfied though, so that was a good thing about these. But no, I wouldn't recommend. Way too bland. Next, we've got the Weetabix Weetos Chocos. So these are chocolate flavor crunchy wheat hoops, and they are by a name brand, Weetabix. And this 375-gram box cost me €3.55. Once again, I had about 50 grams of cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And these do have that whole grain taste to them. You know, well, I can't really describe it in any other way. I'm sure you know what I mean, that healthy whole grain taste. But otherwise, I think these were pretty identical to the Coco Pops loops. And both my mouth and my tummy were satisfied. So yeah, a pretty good breakfast. Next, we've got the Weetabix Crispy Minis Chocos. These are whole grain wheat cereal with chocolate and from a name brand, so Weetabix. This 500-gram box cost me €4.69. Once again, I had about 50 grams of cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk. And for a healthier whole grain cereal, these were very nice. Both my mouth and my tummy were well satisfied. And, you know, there was the additional satisfaction of knowing that this is a healthy alternative. Next, we have the Alku Täysjyvämuro Kaakaotähdet. These are whole grain cereals with Coco, and they are by a name brand, so Alku. And this 400-gram box cost me €3.95. So once again, I had about 50 grams of cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk, and these had a bit of a weird taste to them that I didn't like. Kind of salty and, I don't know, malty in some way, like instead of sweet. These were edible, but not enjoyable. I cannot recommend. But my hungry tummy was satisfied. So once again, another Finnish cereal that didn't do so well in this taste test. Sadly. Next, we have the Nestle GoFree Cornflakes Chocolate Taste. So these are crispy cocoa-flavored cornflakes, and obviously name brand Nestle GoFree. And this 375-gram box cost me €3.49. Again, I had about 50 grams of the cereal with 2 deciliters of almond milk, and these tasted very nice. Kind of like frosted flakes with some cocoa powder added to them. And both my mouth and my tummy were satisfied, so I'd call this a very nice breakfast. So, out of all of these different kinds of vegan cocoa cereal that I could find in my local Prisma supermarket, the Cocoa Puffs and the Weetabix Crispy Minis Choco were my favorites. So the Cocoa Puffs, I chose them over the Nesquiks because they are so much cheaper, but my mouth can't tell the difference. So if I want like a nice sweet breakfast cereal every now and again, and I don't care all that much about how healthy it is, I'll definitely go for the Cocoa Puffs. But then if I want a healthier option, out of all of the healthier ones, the Weetabix Crispy Minis Choco were my absolute favorite. I mean, none of the other healthier ones could compete. They just were my clear favorite out of all of the healthier options. So yeah, Cocoa Puffs by the Rainbow brand and the Crispy Minis Choco by Weetabix were my favorites. And sadly, I can't really recommend any of the Finnish ones. So let's see, what did we have? We had the Kaakaomuro and the Suklaarenkaat and the Kaakaotähdet. I can't really recommend any of those. I didn't like any of them. So bit of a sad day for Finnish cocoa cereal here. And that's all from me for this video. Thank you so much for watching. It really does mean a lot to me. please remember to take good care of yourself, and I will see you again next time.